I have had firsthand experience with how difficult German tests are. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caroline Ruby and I'm an American exchange student studying abroad in Germany this year. Since you guys showed so much love on my German school culture shock video, I decided to do a part 2. I've now been in school for about 5 weeks and these are just some more things that I've noticed. In the last video, a lot of people were saying that they had different experiences because they live in different regions of Germany. So for reference, I live in the Rhineland-Pfalz. Okay, to start, I cannot believe I didn't mention this in my last video, but at my gymnasium, there is no dress code. So for my German viewers, typically in America, there's a pretty strict dress code at most high schools. Like, you can't have rips in your jeans, you can't have tops that show any cleavage, you can't have spaghetti straps or like thin straps. Shorts and skirts have to be fingertip length, no inappropriate words or messages, etc, etc. Some schools are more strict than others, but this is pretty common in America. But here in Germany, at my school, there is absolutely no dress code. People can wear whatever they want, and surprise, surprise, no one gets distracted by what the girls are wearing. I also think that's very good for self-expression. You don't have to worry about following certain guidelines, you just wear what makes you the most comfortable, and I think that creates a better learning environment for everyone. So definitely something that American high schools should think about. Okay, the next thing I've noticed is that homework doesn't get checked or collected. So in the US, typically when you have homework assignments, they're worksheets or something online that you turn in, and you always give it to the teacher and they read it over and usually give it back to you the next class. But here in Germany at my school, we have oral grades, which is basically just participation in the class. So whenever we're discussing homework, you raise your hand and you talk about it. So no one really comes around and checks if you did it, but the teachers might call on you at random and you should be able to answer. And everyone in my class is very rigorous about doing all of their work. Okay, the next difference is that school supplies are very expensive here in Germany. Like, for example, a binder can be over 30 euros, I believe. And in the US, I think they're like $15 max. And also, like, there's no difference in the quality. The quality of the supplies here aren't better or worse. They're kind of just the same, but they're so much more expensive. So that's just something I noticed. I don't really know the reasoning for it, so if you could explain that in the comments down below, that would be much appreciated. Okay, next one, this is a big one. There are no lockers in my German gymnasium. So in the US, when we go to school, we have a designated locker. You keep all your books and supplies and stuff for each class in there, and then in between classes, you go to your locker and take out what you need for the specific class you're going to, which I think is a lot easier because then you're not carrying around all these books, all these heavy things on your back all day. But yeah, no lockers in German schools. Okay, my next difference, and this isn't specifically at my school, I'm pretty sure this is fairly common across all of Germany, but in Germany there are different levels of schools for different levels of learning. Okay, so I have the list right here, so I'm making sure my facts are right. Let me just explain the basis of what I know about this system. At a younger age, all German children are in the same school, but the school system kind of tracks their progress and their skills and weaknesses and kind of pushes them on a track towards what they would be best at. So for example, if you're not so good at school, but they notice you're really handy, you'd probably go to a school that's more focused on doing something laborious. And if you're really good at math, then you're geared more towards the math route, stuff like that. So there is Hauptschule, which is for less academic students. I would assume they would go into something like handwork or maybe construction. Then there's Realschule, which is for intermediate students, like not the best at school, not the worst, kind of just in the middle. Gymnasium is for academic focused students. This school is geared towards university. And then Gesamtschule, which is a comprehensive school combining all education types. I think this is a great system because it makes sure you're surrounded by people that are geared towards your interests and talents. In the US, there are different types of schools as well, but usually like preparatory schools, you pay to get in. There's some schools you get in with scholarships, but for the most part, most people are at a high school. Whether they're really good at school and want to be a doctor and go to university, or whether they're just going there because it's the law and don't make good grades. Everyone's kind of in the same area, but this can also be good because then people can change tracks if they like. And then my final thing I noticed is that there are no multiple choice tests, or very, very few. I have had firsthand experience with how difficult German tests are. It's especially hard for me as an exchange student who doesn't speak fluent German because I basically just gather what I tried to hear in class, then I have to translate my notes so I can try and understand the topic, then I have to translate it back and memorize some words so that I understand what the test is asking, and most of the time I still have no idea what the questions are saying. I got a 6 on my last Sozialkunde test, so not doing so well. In the US, typically multiple choice tests are the most common, and if it isn't a fully multiple choice test, there's only a small writing section at the bottom. This makes it a lot easier to just memorize and regurgitate the information instead of actually learning it, which I think is a reason why that school is much easier in the US than it is here. Here you truly have to understand the topic and everything around it to be able to fully answer the questions thoroughly, but this is also really good for learning because once you learn it, you're not going to forget it. In the US, when I would take tests, I would study the night before, maybe for 30 minutes, and just memorize what I needed to know, and then I could pass the test easily with an A. But here I study for 3 hours and I still don't know what the question is asking. So, okay, that is all I have for today. Sorry this is a bit of a shorter video. Thank you for showing so much love on my channel. It's really appreciated, and I've really been loving sharing my experiences with you guys. Feel free to comment anything you want down below, maybe some study tips. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Tschüss!